What is up, everybody? How's it going? Can you hear me? Can you see me? How's the audio? How's the music volume? Tell me all that shit before we get started so I can fix it. Oh man, I didn't make a list of updates today, but we're going to do our usuals anyway. Welcome Unconquered, welcome Badanot, super happy to see you here. First thing, hey, we hit 50 followers. That's fucking rad. I think last stream we had 38 at the end of it, which is fucking great. Can I stop the auto lighting? I don't think I can because it's actually my MacBook's webcam that's doing it. So if I could turn it off, I totally would. Oh, thank you. Hey Keltfire, nice to see you. Yeah, so that's super exciting. I guess that we can, as a community, we can be affiliates now, which is great. I don't really know what that gets us, being an affiliate, aside from like being able to do subs and shit. But Frank, I don't really care that much. Like, I just am excited that 50 people are interested in our little experiment and what we're doing, which is really cool. So I always like to start with ethos and what we do here. So if you're new And sorry, if you're old hands, you're gonna hear me do this every time, so you can ignore it. I'm sorry. But this is a stream about collaborative D&D prep. That means it's all about creating things together in a really exciting, energetic fashion. It's about brainstorming together, bouncing ideas back and forth. It's about that feeling that you get when someone else is giving out ideas and you see them and you're like inspired by them and put out your own ideas, and the whole thing goes into a crazy spiral of positivity and awesomeness. That's what this is about. And the reason is because, you know, I know that a lot of us DM alone. A lot of DMing is alone. A lot of even player character creation happens alone. And you know, in my own career as a game designer, I used to work for Disney. Now I run my own game studio. The most joy I've ever gotten in creativity has been when I worked with other people. And so my interest is in seeing if people online are interested in having that kind of a creative experience together as well. And of course, it's super exciting. It comes with a lot of really cool things. It's also got its own challenges. So, you know, things like checking your ego at the door and learning not to hold on too tightly to your ideas and being constructive but still being kind. Like there's a whole discipline around being creative with other people, and it's really, really exciting to both experience the benefits and to rise to the challenges that come with creating with other people. So as the stream grows, as it gets larger, we'll start to run into some of those challenges, and that's exciting. We get to tackle that stuff together, but most importantly, you guys and me get to work on D&D together, which is awesome. Like, I think I've probably inhaled more whiteboard dust than I care to in my lifetime, but that was totally worth it because working with other people on ideas is the most fun thing ever. And so based on my experience, I'll guide us through that process of creativity. And today's stream is something I call Community Workshop, which is to say that we work on stuff from the community, which is you guys. So that could be, well, the way it'll work is that I'll take nominations in a minute or two for things that people might want to work on. Now, that could be something that you're already working on. It could be like a homebrew that you've got fully developed and you just want feedback on. But it could also be just a nugget of an idea. It could be something that's like as simple as, I wonder what it would be like if dwarves, you know, could fly. I don't know, whatever, right? Like it could be literally anything. What would it be like last week, which was super cool? We did a whole brainstorm around exotic locations, and we came out with a huge list of super fun exotic locations, which was awesome. And we also came out with, we, you know, picked one of our favorites. We were like, well, the village that lives within a giant jellyfish in the ocean is super cool. And then we just delved into that, and we took an hour and just detailed out everything about that individual experience. So it could be as simple as just a one-line idea or like a two-word idea as well. It doesn't have to be a fleshed out thing that you've already got going on. Similarly, if you're a player, you could throw out something like, I'm interested in making a character that is like Gandalf with a lisp. I don't know, whatever, right? But just throw it out there if you're interested in having the community work on it. And all of us are going to be super excited to just bash on something creative together. It doesn't really matter what it is. Started all this a month ago, roughly. Oh, hell, I don't know. I think it says when my first stream was in the Twitch panel. So you can look down below and tell me what it is. I don't remember what it is. But that's the idea, is that we nominate things and we pick something together. I have some influence over the process just because I'm the streamer, but I like to do things that we haven't done before, or, you know, touch on things we haven't done before. But it could be literally anything: magic item, exploration, adventures, character ideas, like whatever. Who knows? A new spell. I don't know. So let's start with that. Let's start with, well, actually, let me see if I have anybody else to call out. Oh, couple people to call out, other streamers that I think are super cool. Gaming Brews is a very cool stream. They also do D&D prep once a week, and they also have like 2 or 3 other campaigns that they run. So if you like watching D&D, go and follow them. Also, Nerdstrong. Nerdstrong Gym. I do. You know what? I should have put this in the Twitch panels as well, but I didn't. But that's Gaming Brews. Okay. I hope that's right. I hope it's the right link. The second thing I want to call out is Nerdstrong Gym. They are my gym, the people that I work out with, and they're awesome because they're nerdy. Like the workout I just did this morning, which obviously because of coronavirus, we're all doing it virtually. Oh, it's unavailable? Damn it. 1 second. You know what? Next time I'm going to have these links already in the stream. Unless he like deleted his channel, you know, like yesterday, which would suck. Gaming Brew.
This hand.
Whoa. Oh, it's just Gaming Brew. Sorry. Whoops. Brew. There you go. And the second one is Nerdstrong Gym. So the cool thing about Nerdstrong Gym is that, one, it's a super inclusive, lovely community. But they also have workouts on Twitch. They have workouts online in a format you can do on your own. And they have Zoom workouts if you want to like get your form looked at or whatever. But if you're not used to working out, you're like an indoor kid like me, it's great because they theme their workouts in a nerdy way. So this morning I was rolling D4s to see if I would get caught by a monster while I was walking around a dungeon. And I was lifting and doing things and being guided through a workout while I was doing that. So especially in this time of quarantine, it's important to be healthy. It's important to take care of yourself. So aside from, you know, all the nerdy D&D prep that we're going to do, I recommend checking out Nerdstrong Gym and just getting some exercise in because your body is your vessel. So pay attention to it. And Coach Andrew is just very, very cool. And then lastly is a company called Hancholo.com. They are a nerdy jewelry brand. And I know that sounds really weird, but the truth is that their products are awesome. They're friends of mine. Their store was recently robbed. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of stuff lost. And they're struggling in this time. So if you have a chance, go and, you know, visit them. And oh my God, my girlfriend is sending me dogs. She really wants. Yeah, I know. It really sucks for them. They're the kindest people. They have the D&D license. They have the Voltron license. They have the He-Man and She-Ra licenses. They make really, really cool stuff. And all their inventory got cleaned out. So they're looking to make new stuff, sell it to people, you know, give back as much as they can. But, you know, check them out. Go see what's up there. Okay, let's move on. 12:10, perfect timing. Taking nominations for what we're going to work on today. Remember, it can be literally anything. It can be, you know, like what your shower thought was this morning about D&D. It could be something that you're already working on. It could be something that you've been thinking about working on. You have it in your head, but you're like, well, I don't know where to go with that. Like, I have a couple things that I'm like, I really want to make this thing happen. Like, there's a player backstory that I'm struggling with, and I have no idea where to start. So I'm definitely going to drag that in here at some point. But there's a bunch of stuff that you guys can put up there. Temple of Oblivion, where the bad guy's Phylactery is. I like that. That's cool. I think I had just set up. Oh, by the way, if you want to see what we've, you know, worked on in the past, you can check this link out. That's where our database is of community workshop stuff. But okay, cool. We already have a nomination from Discord, which is Roselocked's Dark Knight class, which looks super cool, which we could definitely take a look at. Temple of Oblivion. I don't even know what that means, aside from the fact that it's where the phylactery is, but I'm excited to find out. Phylactery is such a fucking complicated word to type, honestly. And let's see. We'll just call that a dungeon. I'm going to try and keep track of who had these ideas also. Okay. Nomination from Celtfire. A nugget of an idea of mine for a monster I want to make for the campaign you're DMing. An illusion-based monster, ooh, that fights people by showing them their worst fears and trying to drive them crazy. Oh, it's so dark. Possibly also fights by making illusory duplicates of itself and trying to confuse enemies. I like it. That's very cool. It's very, very cool. Let's call it the Illusion Monster. Tag it Monster, Celtfire. Awesome. Hey, this is like the most number of nominations we've had, which is great. I need a notes column here too. Cool. Kill. Root of All Beers says, try. They're a jewelry brand with a target audience to the rest of the nerd community. Yeah, it's true. That's accurate. Very accurate. Oh my God. My girlfriend is hell-bent on adopting a dog. And she is just sending me cute dogs nonstop. I don't know, you guys. I already do this. I don't have time for that. But anyway, what else? What other ideas we got? Anything else? I'll throw one out there, which is the backstory of a player character. Not backstory. He's already given me his backstory. The narrative for a player character, who is a bit of an anarchist. I don't want to go too deeply into the summary of it, but we'll just say that. An anarchist war hero. I know that sounds weird, but that's the best I can do. An anarchist war hero Pandaren. How does D&D get so convoluted so quickly? And we'll say, that one came from me. All right. What else we got? Botanot says, how would you go about a character whose identity is closely tied to a particular weapon or magic item? That's interesting as well. I like it. I'm adding it to the list. Character tied to weapon / magic item. That's fascinating. Botanot. I'm just going to tag that with characters, and we'll say narrative is the category for that. What do you mean types of D&D games? Oh, types of campaigns. That's cool. I like that one. That's pretty cool. Yep. Types of campaign settings. We'll just brainstorm general campaign settings. I like it. That's really cool. Another from Unconquered. In the beginning, I'll probably choose ideas that are like things we haven't done before. Like we've done a lot of magic items, stuff like that. But you can have a dog guest star all the time. People love dogs and draw in many followers. Wow. Don't agree with her. Don't do it. That is my girlfriend, in fact. But she's going to try and poison your minds into making us get a dog. Don't do it. Don't give in. We're too busy. We can't do it. Okay. Let me just show you guys the list we've got. There we go. Hey, where are my snap areas, bro? Where'd those go? I need that. I need my fancy window management. There we go. There we are. Boom. Cool. Charisma saving throw to not adopt a dog. Oh my god. This is not going well. You're not supposed to turn my own community against me. Ugh. Hey, I just got a notification. You belong in a new class of streamer known as Twitch affiliates, blah, blah, blah. Check out this link. Yeah, whatever. It is not the same thing as being... Oh, we got to follow? No. Yep, pat the map. Nice to see you. All right, so these are the ideas we've got. What do people want to work on? I lean towards the settings idea. I think that's super cool. Also, I'm biased because I love blue sky brainstorms where we can basically just like, we could basically just like come up with a gigantic list of things and then delve into one thing. We did it on Monday with exotic locations and it was super fun. So I'm just excited to do it again. But this is where you guys get to choose also. Put your input. I won't say votes because it's not necessarily a democratic process, but go ahead and put your votes in for what you would like to work on, and I'll take that into consideration. Notice all this good news after mentioning a duck. That's not true. I got the 50th follow before the stream even started, okay? Could the other 2 followers be because of that? No, Kelpfire knew about this before. I don't know where Pat the Mat came from, but I doubt that he or she heard about a dog and started to follow. I gave you items to community homebrew last stream. Are those the links that you gave me, the drawings that you sent? I still have those. You want to vote for your own contribution, but that feels selfish. You can vote for your own contribution. That's fine. Force a negative tether. Oh, that's cool. Got it. I should put that in here. Sorry, I didn't realize that those were nominated. I thought you were just sharing those with me. Flesh out item sketches from root of all beers. I'll put the link in there. Links needed. We'll do that for sure. These are all good. They are all good. I like them a lot. I knew I was going to have this problem. I knew that, like, at the moment that this community was any kind of, like, size, we were going to have way too many nominations to actually do. And I'm just going to have to start making decisions. And then people are going to hate me because they're like, well, you don't work on my thing. And that's just the truth of it. That's how it's going to go. Here's what I'll do, though. I will add a date added column. And I don't know. I think I can do that automatically. Yeah, created time. There we go. And that way we at least know, like, oh, this one has been in here for a really long time, you know, etc. Roll to decide. We could do that. At some point we might do that, honestly. But also, you know, I want to have a good time. So I want to, you know, make sure that whatever we do is super fun, etc. You vote for your own monster. You vote for the Dark Knight class. That looks cool. That's true. Okay, so I think I'll probably... Let me think about this. Oh, program. Yeah, okay, so we can talk about that for a second. This is Notion, everybody. It's my favorite program in the whole wide world. A friend of mine turned me on to this about a year ago. And the brilliant thing about Notion is that it is a wiki for everything you might want to do. Which you can see for me is my whole life. I've literally organized in Notion. My shopping list is in here. My meal prep database is in here. But the great thing about this tool, and we'll go back to the nominations in a second, but the great thing about this tool is that you can create your whole wiki for your campaign in here. So you can see this is for one of my campaigns that I'm running right now. It's a Storm King's Thunder campaign. And I organize it in all kinds of ways. The brilliant thing about Notion is that it's completely flexible to whatever you want to do with it, but it also provides you with a structure that's cool. So, like, these are to-do list items, but I could turn them into something else, like a bulleted list, just like that. So it's very flexible, but still structured. The other thing about Notion that's really cool is that, one, it's very pretty, but two, databases are a thing. So I have this thing called Session Guides, and this is a database of every session that I've run for my campaign. And each of these is its own page that has my prep for that session in it. And it can have links to other pages, which makes it super powerful as well. And you can have, you know, various things in your database. It's really, really cool. I love it. I use it for not just this campaign, but for other campaigns as well. I use it to organize my entire life, including everything that I do on Twitch as well. So I'll say it once. I'll say it a million times. Notion, I will take your sponsorship if you want to give it to me, because I'm going to pimp out Notion every chance I get, because I love it. Fucking love it. All right. Let's get back to the matter at hand, everybody. Community Workshop nominations. Oh, God, I got to make a decision. Yeah, I tried OneNote. Obviously, I'm a Mac user, so I'm not going to get the best version of OneNote. But the truth is that OneNote is too unstructured for me. The fact that, like, everything can move around, it's like, oh, my God. It's just too free form for me, and you can't convert blocks from one thing to another. It's I prefer Notion a lot more. Okay, what are we gonna do, everybody? Oh, that's good to know. Roselock said you might have to second for the temple. Fuck. All right, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. It's a little bit harder. It's less freeform, and maybe that's okay. We're gonna do the Temple of Oblivion, everybody, and we're just gonna figure out what that is. Now, we've never done a dungeon before, so I want to think a little bit about what the best way is to tackle this. One thing that I think is important to call out is that the creative stuff you come up with is important. Of course, you want to have good ideas, you want to come up with something high quality, but the approach that you take to that creativity and the process of that creativity is just as important. Because otherwise, you might skip over essential elements of that creative process that are really important. So I think it's worth taking 5 minutes and just talking about what that creative process should be. So here's a great thing. We can just open this up as a page, expand it, and off we go. So let's talk about, the creative process. I'm going to make this a full width page. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Can you draw on your screen? Just wondering. Not in Notion natively. I have been thinking about if I should get some kind of a Twitch tool that lets me annotate on screen or just like circle things or highlight things, especially when we're going through D&D Beyond or the Monster Manual or whatever. But I haven't found a tool for that yet. I know, right? I fucking love Notion. Okay, so what's our creative process for this? Let's talk about that, because a dungeon is complicated. I can talk about how I approach dungeons. I think you guys should definitely, let's just list out the kinds of things that you do when you're designing a dungeon. So for me, I'll just start. I go over what is the purpose of the dungeon, right? Which we kind of have already. It's the keeping place of a phylactery. Overall theme of the dungeon, For notes you take at the table physically, I can recommend a Rocket Book. You can easily scan your page through their app and then erase your physical notes. That's awesome. That's really cool. I actually, despite everything here being digital, I am a super analog DM. I don't really even allow people to have devices at my table. So I like taking physical notes and doing everything on paper. And I've come up with a whole system where I can do everything by printing it out and having it in a binder. So that's cool to know about. By the way, I'm going to start using a pen. But check this out. I just got this. My friend, Joe Gatling, who, if you don't know him, he's actually the one of the lead designers of the game Fruit Ninja, if you ever played that. But he 3D printed this for me, which is awesome. And it's like a knight that holds my single pen. Because I was like, I don't want a whole pencil case just for this. Anyway, it's super off topic, but I just thought it was really cool. He literally 3D printed this whole thing. Look at it. It's so fucking cool. All right, anyway. Okay. So back to dungeon planning. Its purpose, super important. Its overall theme, super important. Talking about general elements to include, which could be things like rooms. Well, we can break this apart. Let's say that like general required rooms, right? Like things, areas that it needs to have. You're all for saving the trees, so it asks them to do not disturb. Yeah. Trees, schmees. Trees, schmees? I don't know. No, you're right. Obviously, saving paper is good. I just really like the analog thing. I'm a software developer. I'm a game designer. I do everything digitally. I'm on a computer 24/7. So, I like doing everything with paper when I'm at the table, actually. But obviously, coronavirus has made that impossible as well. Thanks. Required areas. What else do you guys put in a dungeon? I think we also need to know like key NPCs. And I think obviously in a 2-hour stream, it's going to be very difficult to design a whole dungeon, but I think we can get some cool ideas on paper. And I think that's important. So I'm going to create a subheading here, which is just like things we need. And then as part of the creative process, I'll say, blue sky, brainstorm, each essential element. So we'll call it essential elements. Purpose we don't really need to do. We know what the purpose is. Essential encounters. And we don't have to design those encounters specifically. We might be able to just, say, this is generally what we would want that encounter to be. This is why it fits in with the dungeon. Well, I think we'll come up with sort of a skeleton for the dungeon that anybody can take and then go in and, dive into specifically. So TBD. And then previously we've done basically one long hour-long blue sky brainstorm where nothing is a bad idea. It's all just about energy and more ideas. And we then spend the second half of it narrowing it down. And I think in this case, we're going to try something different, which is we'll try doing brief 10-minute blue sky brainstorms for each element in order of importance. And then we'll follow each one of those up with a refinement step. So we'll practice basically the like quick switch between, you know, wide open view, all good ideas, like nothing's bad, let's just be energetic, and switching that to constructive criticism mode. Let's narrow things down. Let's make some decisions about what we want these things to be, and then quickly move on, you know? So like 10 minutes each round, and then another 10 minutes of refinement, then we move on to the next thing. And we'll see how much we can get to. Side quest hooks, sure, that's cool. Rewards, 100%. Great idea. Definitely that's a good category. Flora and fauna. Yeah, 100%. General flora and fauna. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think also just ambiance. I've never really known the right, well, let's call it the American, since I am in America, pronunciation. Is it ambiance? Ambience? That doesn't sound right. It's ambiance. But it just sounds so fancy. Types of monsters, for sure. I think that goes under essential encounters as well. We'll just say essential encounters and monsters. Ambiance. Linear or several possible paths, the goal / final room. Yes. General pathing of the dungeon. That's cool. Or layout. Well, let's call that as part of required areas, yeah? Yeah, I wonder if that one will emerge naturally as we sort of come up with the required areas, pair it up with our brainstorm of the key NPCs, one of which has to be the bad guy. What security measures does the Phylactery have? That's super important. That's a good one. Phylactery security measures. And maybe that's actually an essential sort of... Here's one that I think is important. Yeah, this is just all we know so far is it's a Temple of Oblivion where a Phylactery is kept, which is fun. I don't know if you had more in mind, Unconquered, but I like the idea of just having that name and just having that as an inspiration. Oh, memory loss, disorientation. Okay, got it. Cool. Well, that's useful. So we'll do 10-minute blue sky brainstorm. Per essential element. And then a 10-minute refinement process. Okay. Cool. The theme is memory loss, disorientation. Okay, cool. All right. Let's fucking get started. Let's not waste any more time, yeah? Just kidding. That wasn't a waste of time. That was actually very useful. Type of dungeon, whether it's combat focused, investigative, puzzle focused, etc. Yeah, totally. I think that's part of overall theme. I think that was kind of where my thought was going as well, was what is the shtick of the dungeon? Typically, you know, when I've been involved in any kind of level design in game development, there's always been a shtick. There's always been like, here's the one overarching thing that this level or this dungeon is really about. So obviously that includes a theme, like memory loss or disorientation, or this is the Lich's, you know, security place. But it also, from a more mechanical standpoint, because dungeons are very mechanical game designing places, here's what we're trying, here, from a play standpoint and a game mechanic standpoint, here's what we're trying to achieve. So I think that would also be useful. So overall theme and mechanical theme, which to your point, you know, Celtfire, is it combat focused? Is it investigative? Is it all about reverse gravity? Is it about air? Is it about, you know, whatever? Had the idea that people entering the dungeon forget why they're there. They step in, forget the quest further until they advance. Why not leave? Yep. Save that idea. We're going to come back to it. Okay. So let's order these real quick. I'm going to turn these into an ordered list, numbered list, because we're going to do these in order. It's about 20 minutes per round. We've got an hour and a half with a 10-minute break. So that's really like an hour 20. So that's 6 rounds that we can fit if we, you know, stay on time, which we're not going to, obviously. You guys better hold on to those ideas because we're gonna have to come back to them in a second when it's that element's turn. But keep putting them out there. It's totally cool. I'm just trying to think, is there a better order for this? I think knowing the security measure would be essential to figuring out the required areas. I think key NPCs and required areas probably go hand in hand. I think the required areas will inform the monsters. That makes sense. Side quest hooks probably goes at the bottom. Reward should probably go pretty high. And if we can sort of cover two of these at the same time. Hey, thanks for the follow, Petrovic258. Welcome to the community. Make sure you check out our Discord. If you guys don't have that, links are at the bottom. Oh, there's another one. Oh, hey. Damesco? Damsco. Deemsco. I don't know how to say your name. Either way, welcome. Oh, Super Rider Andy. Thanks for the follow as well. Much obliged. Welcome to the community. Okay, so what should we... Oh, Domsco? Okay, good to know. Good to know. I like to know everyone's names. Except for when I got Root of All Beers confused with someone else. Sorry. Yeah, I think this is right. I think this is cool. Okay, let's do it. Let's jump in, everybody. So, first thing we want to brainstorm is overall theme and mechanical theme. Yeah, I agree. The side quests will sort of be informed by not just that, but everything else that comes above it as well. Ambiance can fall under overall theme. That's true. If you guys throw out, like, here's what I'll say, is that while we are brainstorming, if you guys have ideas for other pieces of the dungeon, throw them out there. I will write them down, and we will just place them in the appropriate category so that when we get to that thing, we've already got a bunch of ideas from, you know, that we're generating. And that's totally true. Creativity can work in so many weird ways. We might be talking about overall theme and all of a sudden you have an idea for key NPCs. Totally fine. Throw it out there. We will capture it, put it in NPCs. And then that way, when we get there, we're not starting from a blank slate. We can bounce off of the idea that you had before. Okay. So let's do overall theme and mechanical theme. I'm going to start that section here. So overall theme and mechanical theme. Let's do it. Okay. So I'm going to quickly explain a little bit about the Blue Sky brainstorm process. And then at the start of the refinement stage, I'm going to explain a little bit about that as well. So first of all, this is a Blue Sky brainstorm. What that means is that there are no bad ideas, and the name of the game is volume and quantity and energy. The idea, if you think about the creative process as a funnel, you want to start at the top of the funnel with as many ideas as possible so that when you go to the refinement step, you have the most to work with, and you basically funnel down to the best ideas from there and make a decision. One of the essential components of a Blue Sky brainstorm is that you don't really say no to anybody, right? And the idea behind that is that if you say no, you're probably going to tamp down their creative spirit in that moment. And sometimes that's okay if you're in the refinement step, but in the Blue Sky step, we just want people to throw out crazy shit. Because even if that idea isn't a realistic solution for the thing that we're trying to solve for, it doesn't matter. Because you don't know, the benefit is, you put that idea down, you're looking at it, and all of a sudden it triggers something in your brain that leads to another idea, and that idea might turn out to be the thing that we end up choosing. So the name of the game is no bad ideas, no one shit on anybody else's ideas, like none of that. Let's just throw out as much as we can. It should be like, oh, cool, like that's a great idea. What about this? Right? The name of the game is yes and. So play the yes and game. Like, that's cool. And also, what if we did this? And also, what if we did this? That's what you guys should be doing. That's what I want to see in chat. So please participate, throw out ideas. Let's do this Blue Sky brainstorm. So I think you guys have already started. So overall theme, mechanical theme. Let's wait. We need different music for this. All right. Overall theme, mechanical theme. Let's go. All right. So what do we got? I don't know where to start in chat, but I think Unconquered had a bunch of ideas, so I'm going to write those down as well. One of them is forgetfulness, right? That's sort of like Temple of Oblivion, what you were saying. Where did you say that? I'm trying to look. Memory loss. That's right. And disorientation. That's cool. I'm going to make 2 columns here. One is a mechanical theme, because I think someone else is like, they had a mechanical theme, but I can't see what it is anymore. Overall theme, another one. A place that's not dangerous because there are crazy strong monsters inside, but because there are effects of the temple that can take you out without even touching you. What does that mean? Take you out without even touching you. Oh, like kill you without even touching you. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. What is that? How do I express that succinctly? I would say maybe like fake out danger. I'm not describing this well. Strong monsters, but they're real red herring. Red herring danger. Strong monsters. Thanks for the follow. Goes Nugget. That sounds super dirty. Monsters, but real threat is elsewhere. Okay, what else we got? Looking for diamonds in the rough. All right. It's so funny. I feel like last week we also had an idea that was very Aladdin-esque. It was like Cave of Wonders-y. For the overall theme, maybe the Lich is trying to... Oh yeah, sure. Join back in whenever you want, Scuzz Nugget. Thanks for joining us. I can speak English. No, I can't. Root of all beers got you. Thanks, man. Overall theme, maybe the Lich is trying to become the master of Oblivion. The whole reason one becomes a Lich is to stave off Oblivion in the form of death and forgetting. The temple will inflict death and forgetfulness on the players to show that the Lich is the master of this and them. Sure. Lich, mastery of Oblivion / death, / memory, memories. Mastery of memories is a really cool one as well. Just like mastery of what you think you know, which is cool. Mechanical theme to tie into Unconquered general idea. Lots of traps and unintuitive dangers. Something like the temple itself is the threat, not the monsters in it. Oh, for sure. Traps and unintuitive dangers. Like things you wouldn't think were dangers. Like the Tomb of Horrors. I feel like that dungeon is entirely designed to be unintuitive and to fuck with you and to subvert your expectations. Is the threat. Yep. Okay, cool. So I'm going to split this into a second column. There we go. Boom. And this one's going to go in the first column. All right. We can actually subhead these as well. And in this column, we can subhead that as well. I'm going to totally take time to make this pretty because I just really like doing that. Overall, nope, wrong heading. Mechanical theme. That goes on the side there. There we go, perfect. Why is there so much space between these two? That's fucking weird. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. Sorry to reduce the momentum here. I'm gonna get back to it. How about branching paths? Hey, thanks for the follow. Skip. I can't see your name. How about branching paths? As time passes, they close and open. If the party rests, they can't seem to find the way they came in. I like it. It's more of a mechanical theme too. It's good. Branching paths. I can spell. I really got to be in my typing game here because you guys are coming fast and furious at me. Time and not just time, but maybe other conditions cause paths to open and close. That's really cool. I really like that. I think that goes along with the theme very, very well. Let's catch up on chat. Sorry. Mechanical theme to tie into Unconquered general idea. Oh wait. Okay, I went to that already. Dames go. The Lich drains interlopers' memories to cure their own memory loss. That's pretty cool. Lich drains memories or erases memories. Have fun getting your players not to metagame through that shit. No, I actually think it's a great idea. That would be really fun. If it's like, you can't remember what you did in the last room. You have to ignore it. I know your human brain knows it, but your character doesn't know it. To fix their own. which is cool. Although I totally forgot to set a timer on this, and we're already at 42. I know, right, Mikey T? They're fucking good. This is great. I'm gonna set a timer for myself here. We're gonna give it like 3 more minutes on this one. Hopefully I can catch up with chat. Oh, cool. Well, thank you for spreading the word, Root of All Beers. Roselock, psychological horror theme, maybe. Mental attacks from psychic monsters like mind flayers could use Lovecraft as an inspiration too, and illusions to try to fool the party into becoming lost. 100%. 100%. Oh, I don't know why I... Here we go. Psycho... Horror... mental attacks from monsters. This is more like a... It's kind of both. It's fine, doesn't matter. Mental attacks from monsters. Yep. Illusions. To fool the party into being lost. Yes, I like it. What else we got? Worse than death is irrelevance. Those threatening effects can just be disorientation, so that those players simply get lost in the dungeon. Then the Lich doesn't have to worry about their souls coming back to get them. They're just wandering the dungeon. Yeah, 100%. That's basically illusions to fool the party into being lost. Disorientation. I'll try and group these ideas as much as I can so we don't have, like, you know, a spaghetti of like a billion ideas. Could definitely go alongside the memory loss concept. Yep. What if the dungeon was constantly shifting as if constantly alive? That's cool. I think that's more mechanical. Shifting as though alive. That's also kind of like a similar idea to the branching paths, so we'll group those together as well. The dungeon is a half-living body of a great old one who may become friend or foe, for sure. Half-living body of a great old one. I'm assuming you mean the Warlock patron. Oh my god, I keep losing my place in chat. Who may become friend or foe. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do this when there's like 70 of you in chat. It's gonna be impossible. Just skip. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, we got 45 seconds left on this blue sky, and then we're gonna go into refinement. As far as disorientation, how about shifting paths where the player accidentally arranges all the paths to lead into different rooms than originally? For sure. Goes to the branching path concept, so players can trigger as well. For sure. In the mechanical theme, maybe based on entropy as well. Any entropy monsters we can think of? I don't know, but that's super cool. Entropy. You said for the mechanical theme, but that's like more of an overall theme, right? And then like tell me what the mechanical element of that is, and I'd be happy to put it in the other list. What are Sorrowsworn? I don't know what that is, but let me know what Sorrowsworn is, and we can talk about it. The DM can... Oh, that's the timer. Okay. Cut off. That's it. No more ideas. Now I'm gonna finish up what's here right now. I'm just gonna put a line in here. Okay, so I know that we gotta just catch up to that real quick. The DM can metagame the metagame, have them healed and other effects happening that the players don't understand why. Later you let them know they had an NPC with them they had forgotten about all along. That's super cool. I realize they had an NPC all along they forgot about. That's funny. That's really funny. That's pretty interesting. Also, like, effects happen to them they can't remember. Love it. Overall theme, how about rooms being very orderly or clean? Feels repetitive. Party can feel lost. Oh, I see what you're saying. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Rooms that are empty or clean to reinforce the feeling of memory loss. Okay, I gotta group some of these together because they're like a lot of these are memory loss related. Yep, makes sense. Even this is kind of the same thing. Future thought for essential encounters and monsters. Oh, we'll put that over here. Since the topic of memory loss stealing is coming up, we could look into including a false Hydra, possibly, since that's what they're a lot about. I have no idea what a false Hydra is, but we're going to talk about it. Ask Celtfire what the hell that is. Okay. Last two things: mechanical theme, backtracking the temple. What if the party gets reset into a room and into a situation they have no memory of as PCs nor as players? They have to find out what they did. Oh, that is super cool. That also goes along this with this idea of effects they can't remember. So like, thrust into, you know what? I'm gonna group this as a sub of this, a room they have been to before that they haven't actually been to because they forgot. Love it. This is super cool. This is like fucking super fucking cool. I just said fucking 80 times. And then last one, adding on to the great old one. What if they weren't against the dungeon as much as they need to befriend the old one? Oh yeah, 100%. Could befriend, save, restore memory, even. You know, like he's like struggling to figure out what he's all about. Okay. All right. So now we're going to move into the second phase of this. And, oh, we got a side quest thing. I'm just going to literally copy paste it for expediency. Okay. And say root beers. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. I will take that and I will record that as well. All right. Okay, so the second part of this is the refinement step. And this is where the difficult part comes in. And for that, what I mean is that the refinement step is all about figuring out what we want to keep and figuring out what we don't want to keep. Now, a couple things about this step. First is that when we are talking about what we want to keep and what we don't want to keep, we have to talk about what our conditions are, right? Like, what is it that we're trying to achieve that really guides our vision? Because if everyone has a different vision of where we have to end up, then people are going to disagree on what the right thing is. Now, I'm not looking for universal agreement. Again, I'm leading this brainstorm, so I'll guide it. You can view me as the game design lead, and then everyone else is sort of like a game design working on the team, is sort of like my whatever. Can you export this for later use? Yeah, for sure. It's Notion only, but right now, but like, this is already a public database, what we have here. We're trimming the fat, but we can still use fat for other things, you know? 100%. 100%. Fat is very good for you overall. So use it. And so, where do we go? So this whole database is publicly accessible. You can go to this menu right here and you can hit export and you can export it to a PDF or Markdown or HTML. I think you can also export it to a CSV possibly. But there's a bunch of options. We can talk about it afterwards as well. Oh my God, where were we? Here we are. Okay. So, sorry, getting back to the refinement thing. So, I'm going to try and define a sort of, ideally, actually, what we're coming up with right now, like what we're doing, which is coming up with the overall theme and the mechanical theme. That is actually going to be the guiding light for the refinement steps that we're going to do for the other essential components. So when we're coming up with key monsters, once we've picked our essential theme, or our overall theme, you'd basically just have to figure out, does this feel like it fits in with this or not? Other things that you can use to refine are like, does this conflict with something else? You know, if not, like if you can stuff it all in and then why not, right? Like that's cool. But you know, there's something to be said for simplicity and elegance as well. So I don't have as much of guidance for you guys in refinement here. I think we'll develop it as we go. But one thing I will say that's very important is, even though this step is about picking things over other things, it doesn't mean that one idea is better than the other. It just means that it maybe fits more, or that we had to make an arbitrary decision and we just had to pick one, you know, and that's fine too. Sometimes I might just randomly decide because there's no real strong reason to pick one over the other. And I think, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that an idea is bad. It just means that it wasn't picked for, you know, a number of reasons. So, other things to remember in this step is that, remember that like ideas are just ideas, right? They don't, just because you came up with one doesn't mean that if it's not picked or, you know, it didn't make it through the refinement process, that it's a reflection on you. Just as you saw in our brainstorm step, we come up with a ton of ideas. You will come up with, as a part of this community, you're going to come up with hundreds, thousands of ideas. So try to disassociate yourself from your ideas and you. Totally different things, right? You were an incredible, creative, idea generating person. The ideas you come up with are going to be in the hundreds or thousands or whatever, and many of them are just never going to go anywhere, and that's totally okay. What matters is that we work together to create something that all sort of fits together. That's what matters. Is leading a team in game design right now? I am. I love that. I mean, that's my whole career, right? Like, I've been a game designer since I graduated from college. I've worked as a lead game designer on a number of Disney games, my own games. I run a game design focused studio, and I love it. It's fucking awesome. It's great. And I think as the community grows, it is important to sort of teach people how to be creative together. So we're going to figure it out together. I'm going to make tons of mistakes. I'm going to give you incorrect recommendations, whatever. We'll figure it out, right? We're all in here to have a good time. Basically, don't be a dick. That's lesson number one. All right. So I think the first thing we got to do, I'm going to start the timer for the refinement step. And we're going to set it to 10 minutes. And the first thing I think we should do is to just group things together, right? So we started doing that process earlier. Let's group it together again. Master of Oblivion, Death/Memories. That's also in that sort of area. We've got other things that can be grouped potentially. Yeah, okay. I think that's pretty good. I think this is also in that same grouping of psychological, mental attacky sort of thing. These all feel like, yep, that's pretty good. I think that's good for mechanical stuff. I think this is actually in the same vein. Thematically, this is like a thematic explanation for what happens to them. They can't remember. And then I think we can also chuck the two categories for now and just put them all in here. You know what? I'm actually just gonna, so you guys can see all of it, I'm gonna just separate these. We're just going to have two columns so that it's easier to see. Okay. Psychological horror fits with great old one. Yeah, totally. It does. It does. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go with... I need a little bit more definition of entropy. I remember who suggested entropy, but whoever did, give me a little bit more clarity around sort of what you thought when it comes to entropy. We don't need that level of clarity necessarily. We're going to flesh it out later. But for everyone else, just, you know, entropy is chaos. Entropy is like in physics, it's like the idea that like things aren't ordered in nature. What does that mean in terms of, you know, the way that it would maybe manifest? Give me a little bit more specificity. Thanks for dropping in, Kelpfire. It's great to have you. I hope we can figure out what a false Hydra is without you. I'm sure we can. We got some great people here. And okay, so now we're going to just try and sort of figure out what parts of this do we want to keep? What feels like it fits together really well? What feels like they are complementary, but also what gives us enough variety? I think based on the overall like interest in the memory loss disorientation thing, we can obviously just say, yes, that's cool. What I'll do is I will color. Can I color just that? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to color that orange just so that like we know, okay, cool. That's what it is. Oh, we got some more detail on entropy. Yeah. Rooms could change location. That's sort of like the branching paths thing as well. Yeah. Game antechamber, you turn a corner and the entire room changes around you. You don't know where you are. For sure. That makes sense. We're gonna put branching paths under entropy as well. That sort of fits. So I'm gonna say here is memory loss. Oh, that's actually already here. Okay, I actually have an idea. Let's see here. The goal of this refinement step for overall mechanical theme should be, we should be able to basically come up with like a one-line summary of what this dungeon is about. I think that should be the goal. So let's put up here what that one-line summary is going to be. Right? What's a good icon for this? Exclamation mark. No, the star. It's our North Star. It's our guiding star. Okay. So what is our one line? What is our one line overall / mechanical theme? Oh yeah, sure. That's a cool idea as well. I think I'm realizing a lot of these are like ideas that break off of the themes that we have come up with. And we can take these ideas and stick them into the various categories that we came with above, which are the essential elements that we wanted. But just to capture the other ones, you know, temple falls apart, progression. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense as well. The dungeon being living is a good explanation for memory loss. Yeah, for sure. Like the overall theme that a place where memories go to die. You will not be the same after entering this place and leaving if you leave at all. Place where memories go to die, for sure. Overall theme that it doesn't just entirely understand. I can't talk. The overall theme that the dungeon isn't inherently dangerous. It's the likelihood that adventurers forget what they were doing, where they are, etc. Yep. Losing memories looks like the overall theme. For sure. This makes sense. Is it an astral dungeon? I don't know. What's an astral dungeon? Define that for us. Okay. I think what we seem to be circling around is memory loss. I think we have to choose like a sort of like a central focus NPC here. So it's like, do we want to go with the Lich that is causing you to lose your memories, or has designed a place that you lose your memories in? By the way, 4 minutes left on this refinement step. Or do we want to go with the living body of a great old one? Let's hear opinions on that. And then that can sort of like guide us one way or another as well. Although I think a lot of these ideas can be transformed from one to the other. So just because this one is like the Lich side doesn't mean that you can't take all of these effects and put them in the Great Old One side as well. But let's hear your opinions on Great Old One versus Lich. Oh wait, it kind of has to be a Lich though, right? Because like the whole start of it was it's a phylactery, or there is a phylactery. It could actually be both. I suppose it could be both. It could actually be. Oh well, the guy who came up with it said, Great Old One, so that's fine. Okay, let's do it. So a Great Old One. It hides a phylactery. Ha, that's true. A Great Old One is losing its memory. You enter its body, which is being affected, or not even its body. You enter its domain, which is being affected by domain/body, which is being affected by its memory loss and affecting you. We can also just say that a phylactery is there. That's why you're there. You don't actually care about the Great Old One's memory, right? Maybe the players are there for the phylactery, or that's one of the things they could be there for. And hides a powerful phylactery. You enter its domain/body. Okay, cool. And then the mechanical theme is what's a good gear? Yeah, there we go. Mechanical theme is things are constantly changing. Players are remembering things they forgot. What else is sort of like a theme here? Still in the Great. Yeah, I agree. The Great Old One probably wouldn't care about the adventurers very much. But I like the idea of being inside a Great Old One who is losing its memory, and all of this entropy stuff and this forgetfulness stuff is being triggered by that. That's cool. Oh, the Lich could have stolen the Great Old One's memory and trapped it to help guard it. That's cool. Or the Lich could have corrupted the Great Old One's memory to cause it to forget things and to cause its domain or its body to break down, which enhances the protection of the phylactery, which is cool. I think that's where we're all circling, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. It forgot the Lich is actually a huge dick. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so the overall theme is that things are constantly changing and players are remembering things they forgot. I like that. Okay, cool. All right. So we've got a theme. We are 26 seconds ahead of the game on this one, which is great. All of these things are now basically ideas we can take and shove into other element parts of things. Maybe the body / domain of the Great Old One is slowly dripping out of the world, into the world, potentially threatening the existence of whatever lies its domain, hence the importance to find its memory. We'll leave at the Lich, though. That's true. What do we like better in terms of, like, the Lich's involvement? Last question on this before we move on. Do we like the idea that the Great Old One is the only sort of reason to be here? Or I think actually that's a question that every DM can answer for themselves, right? It depends. The reason for an adventure party being in here is very dependent on what your campaign is and what kind of adventure you want to run. So, but I understand that like the Lich being there or not is something that is kind of essential. So let's just include them all. Let's just say that like for you, you have an option. Your option is you missed the first hour. You're not sure what is going on. Will you post this as a video later? I will absolutely post this as a video later. It goes on Twitch as a video and it also goes on YouTube as a video. But just to catch you up, we are brainstorming a Temple of Oblivion, which is a dungeon that contains a Lich's Phylactery. And we are following a creative process which involves brainstorming and then refinement and then brainstorming and then refinement for a variety of essential elements. That could be the Phylactery security measure, it could be the rewards the party gets, it could be the required NPCs, it could be the key NPCs, whatever it is. And we just finished a brainstorm round of the overall theme and the mechanical theme. This will guide all of the other brainstorms that we do in coming up with this dungeon. Okay, so this is good. I think we can take a lot of these ideas and we can shove them into the other categories, which I will do. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We are at our 1 hour mark for the stream. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in 5 or 10 minutes. And then we are going to continue with this community workshop by tackling everything else here. And I will try and organize these into, areas here. Yeah, I agree. Probably keep the Lich because we did introduce it as Phylactery, which makes sense to me. Okay, cool. Done. All right, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We're gonna complete this brainstorm and do more rounds of blue sky and refinement when we come back. Don't go anywhere. What's up, everybody? We back. Okay. Another quick audio check. How it do? Is that doing anything? Oh, that doesn't do a shit. Oh, never mind. There we go. Okay. Oh, hey, Kelpfire. Welcome back. You didn't miss much. What we've got here is an overall theme for the dungeon and a mechanical theme for the dungeon. And we've got a bunch of ideas that I think can slot into a lot of other places. So here's what we should do first, which is let's take some of these things and just bonk them into okay, so entropy is a thing. I'm gonna organize this by just turning it into a toggle. Also useful notion block. And let's see. We're going to take this and turn it into essential encounters monsters as well. Turn that into a toggle. I think this can probably go here as well. Mental attack from monsters. We'll take that idea. We'll stick it into... We'll go... Yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time here. I think this should go... Puzzles / special encounters. And then monsters are a separate thing. Oops. Why can't I... Monsters. We'll drag False Hydra under that. Sorry, part of a creative process is like just getting organized, which is important as well. Turn that into a toggle. Oh, nope, didn't work. Whatever. Hey, Miriam LA85, thank you for the follow. Okay, okay. I think the rest of it we've kind of got in here, except for this whole idea of the temple is the threat, which is cool. All right. So we've kind of captured the rest of this already. So we've got overall theme and mechanical theme, and we've got everything else sorted out. Now let's move into our next round of brainstorming, which is, you know, going through each of our essential elements. So we've done overall theme and mechanical theme. You know what? Yeah, it's fine. So we're going to go into the Phylactery security measure now, which I think is a essential component of this dungeon. I think the rewards could potentially also be a part of that, because if you defeat the security measure, you get to the Phylactery. Obviously, the Phylactery itself is a reward, but what other rewards, you know, could there be? I think another way to think about it also is that rewards. Thank you for the follow, Sekina. The rewards can also be something that are a little bit secondary to this brainstorm, because they could be very dungeon dependent, or sorry, campaign dependent, right? Like you might decide that based on the level of your players, or based on where they are in the campaign, or your, you know, goals or their own ambitions, that the rewards should be different. That's possible. So we'll cover that. Maybe it'll come out in Phylactery security measure. We'll put that as like an optional one. So let's talk about Phylactery security measure. All right, so we're gonna do the same process. We're gonna do a little faster here, because I think we need to move along. I'm gonna set a 5-minute timer, And we're going to do a 5-minute blue sky brainstorm, and then we're a 5-minute refinement process. Now, remember, this is all about no bad ideas. Everything is good. Throw things out there. Throw crazy ideas out there, and then we will refine and pick what we want from there. So, blue sky brainstorm, go. Oh my god, you guys are already ahead of me. Let's go. All right. Oh god damn it, you guys already have rewards. Hold on to those. You guys hold on to those. But phylactery security measure. What does that mean? Where is this phylactery stored? What is protecting it? What is... No, it's all good. Just hold on to those ideas. Make sure you don't lose them. It's very important to write down your ideas somewhere that's not just chat because it'll go away. And then when we get to that step, bring them back up. Not a problem at all. Many fakes. The right one is distinguished with a marking the party can't remember. Okay, cool. I like it. Many fakes. The real one has a marking. Well, that'll be a sub idea of that. Real one has markings. The party can't remember until they solve the dungeon, perhaps. Various dungeon elements. That would be cool. Like they go through the dungeon and they have a couple different rooms they need to tackle. And once they do that, so like I love the idea of like Zelda style dungeons where you're presented with your goal immediately. Like they're shown the phylactery right away, but the protection around it can't be solved unless you go to other parts of the dungeon to come back. Okay. Oh, also I need to charge my frickin'. Your stream is way lagged. That's weird. Sorry, I had to get my headphones tagged in. Did he die? Hello? What the heck? All right, whatever. You guys can hear me, right? I don't need sound. It's fine. Okay. So, you moved to your computer so you could type faster? Okay, shit, I gotta catch up. Okay. To enter the final sanctum, the adventurers have to state verbatim why they are here. That's interesting. Final sanctum requires a statement of why they are here. What's that about? Like, what do they have to say? You know, I want to know more about that. That sounds very potentially cool. It's stored in the heart of the goo. Yes. Stored in the heart of the Great Old One. What does that mean? What is in the heart? Like, what is the interesting piece of the heart? I mean, one question is like, is this a security measure that's a puzzle? Is it a monster? Is it some kind of a roleplay challenge? Like, that's one thing to consider. Let's see here. Oh, awesome. Sakana, you should jump into the Discord if you can. Look at the link below. Because we talk about this stuff elsewhere as well. Groups of other adventurers that have forgotten who they were and attack other groups of monsters that turn out to be other adventurers. Oh, that's interesting. Like adventurers that have lost their way or forgotten or that have failed the dungeon. Adventurers that have failed the dungeon and been trapped, which totally makes sense as well, because if you think about what a phylactery is essentially like a lich is sucking souls into the phylactery to power itself up and make sure that it has life to live on. So it totally makes sense to me that like these failed adventurers then become the core of the defense of the phylactery itself, which is cool. Let's see here. It's not like you're talking to anyone. That's true. ID, the phylactery is locked behind something that can maybe only be opened by one of the PC's weapons/items. That could be cool. Absolutely. Locked away behind something that only a PC item can open. Maybe something they got in the dungeon, maybe not. I think we should definitely make it something they got in the dungeon so it's like more self-contained. Some sort of mechanic where the party loses all drive to move forward, kind of like that thing where Dumbledore had to drink an empty bowl of horrible tasting whatever the fuck that made him gradually go insane. I want to continue for sure. A mechanic that deprives them of the drive to move forward. The question I have about that is like, if you can answer this, is how do how do you actually enforce something like that? Like, obviously, you can tell the players, you know, hey, you've lost all your drive to move forward. But what is that? What's the resolution of that? What implications does that have on the fact that they are still in a dungeon? They need to move forward. Like, I'm interested to know more how you sort of turn that into a playable thing. Maybe the Lich turned the goo heart. Oh, but maybe it's like, oh, that's our timer. Okay, cut off. We're cut off. I'm going to work through the rest of these ideas real quick. I'm going to put some dashes here. No more ideas on the brainstorm. I'm going to work through the rest of these ideas, and then we'll go into refinement mode. But like, just to plus up on this idea, a mechanic that deprives them of the drive to move forward. Maybe just only some players. Maybe one or some characters. So the other characters must force them in some way, like HP 6, like you were saying. Let's see. Maybe the Lich turned the goo heart into their phylactery. Yep, for sure. Or is the heart of the goo of the Great Old One? If anyone was wondering what goo is. What if the goo is made of goo? The phylactery is constantly automatically moved to the point where even the goo can't remember where it is. That's a good one. Phylactery is constantly moving around. One thing that I think we're gonna have to answer is what does that really mean? Like, how does if it's constantly moving around, how does a player actually solve that? How do they figure out where it is? Is there like a guide, a compass they can unlock? Is there something that like sort of, you know, I'm curious to know how that would work. We can definitely explore that later, but that's a cool idea. Phylactery is constantly moving around, or they're forgetting where it is. What else? Acolyte guards. And their vulnerabilities change pending an int check to simulate the party not remembering past encounters. That could be cool. Acolyte guards with changing vulnerabilities depending on an int check. Party doesn't remember them. That's very interesting. That I like that because it like directly ties the mechanical. It tells you like mechanically how you would play not remembering, which is cool. And it gives them an avenue to remember, which is also great. Entities from traumatic events of adventurers past. Previous bosses take shape as physical memories. That's super cool. That's a really fucking cool idea. Traumatic events or previous foes take shape and must be fought against as shades, maybe. So they're not actually fighting like, you know, literally the exact boss that they fought. Sourcing. We'll call this source. Pulling from nightmares, which is cool. I like that a lot. To up the weirdness, maybe the adventures from a long time ago are young, but the most recent ones are really old. Yep, that'd be fucking weird. Young from ages ago, old from recent times. Some clarifications. So second, to answer your question, this is just something that we're working on as a community. This is not for my campaign specifically. This is community workshop, and that means that we are just we took an idea, we picked one in the first like 10 minutes of the stream, and we just decided to roll with it. We were just like, let's just come up with a creative process, come up with sort of an outline that we want to fill out, and let's just as a community bang on it together and see what we come out with. And anybody can use this for anything they want. They can modify it as much as they want, and they can just steal it. Totally fine. So to answer your question, maybe the Great Old One gives them memories that are so tempting to go after that they want to turn around and leave the temple. Which question were you answering? Fuck, I can't even remember. Oh, I see. Right. The question of how does this actually manifest into a mechanic? Yep. I understand. That makes sense. That's cool. Okay, cool. So let's go into refinement now. Remember, just to remind everybody, this step is all about picking from the many ideas that we came up with on our blue sky. Not being a dick. These ideas aren't bad because they weren't chosen. We're just trying to figure out which ideas fit into our overall theme and mechanical theme and which ones don't. And if they all do, just sort of picking ones that make sense with each other. And I'm just going to go down the list and I'm going to like highlight the ones. We can go back through it. And if there's like a choice between two that either one could work, then that's fine too. We can just vote. We'll figure it out. Okay, cool. So, and thank you for everybody who is sort of like helping guide this process in chat as well. So I appreciate all of you that are doing that. Okay, so first step is many fakes. The real one has part as markings. I think that's cool. I think that's also what's cool about this one is that you can sort of do the same thing that Mikey T suggested, which is in check. Oh, sorry. So there's two ways to do it. Yeah, like one would be they remember when they solve various dungeon elements, or they remember when they succeed on an int check, or maybe both, or both. Int the obviously like solving elements is a guaranteed recollection. Int check is if they don't do that. That makes sense. I can't spell guaranteed. There we go. Your idea got skipped? Where? Oh, totally did get skipped. Shit. Set an in-game time limit before the Phylactery takes their souls. Oh, yeah, for sure. Sorry. You did get that in before the time limit. Let me put that in here. In-game time limit before Phylactery takes their souls. For sure. And the cool thing about in-game time limit is that you could represent that in time, but you could also represent that in terms of progression. So you could say that, you know, every time they go through a dungeon or an element of the dungeon, you know, there's some kind of universal clock that ticks down, or there's some kind of, you know, meter that fills up. And when that thing gets to the top, you know, that's when they fail the dungeon or whatever. I think the first two, many fakes and statement of reason, fall into the same idea that they need to recollect a key piece of info to solve the dungeon. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, I think like just to go down the list and to lock things in. And undoubtedly this is always the hardest part of the creative process, right? It's like really pick and choose between ideas. Especially when you're working with multiple people, everyone's got different ideas, and how do you make sure that, you know, everyone's ideas are represented? The truth is that there's not really like one right way to do it, but we're going to do our best. So I think both, I think this is cool. One way to do it is to organize it into alternatives, right? And that way we can sort of pick and choose between alternatives. So let's just say like, all right, let's stick a pin in this one. And we'll see if anything conflicts with that, or if we want to move it around later. But let's say, cool, the real one has markings the party can't remember, so there's many fakes. And we found a way to sort of have both of these, so we'll just, that's all good. So that's locked in as well. Color that with orange. Final Sanctums requires a statement of why they are here. I want to know more about what that is. I don't know how they would sort of, or like, I mean, they might just be like treasure, you know, and then, okay, that was a reason, you know, like what is the sort of goal of a statement, and how does that turn into mechanical fun, is my question there. Stored in the heart of the goo, or is the heart of the goo? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think either one would totally work. Stored in the heart of the goo, or is the heart of the goo? Any opinions about whether it's stored in it or is it? Let me know. We can pick one of those, and then that can sort of tell us maybe a little bit more about what the encounter is in the final security measure. Adventurers that have failed the dungeon have been trapped. I think that can also absolutely work. And that can sort of be like your monster encounter, which makes sense. So this one, okay, so we can start to organize this a little bit. So like the encounter itself, right? Like I think there should probably be an encounter. That's one possible encounter. Here is another possible encounter. There was another one. Acolyte Guards is another possible encounter. This is more of a security measure. Okay, so this is an alternative to many fakes. Let's see. Maybe they have to repeat word for word a statement that they said to enter the dungeon at the very start. Oh, to go into the memory thing? I think that could just add on to some of the thing. The problem is, what happens if your players totally forget what that is, right? Like, then you're sort of... It's the classic problem with D&D puzzles or riddles, actually, where, like, if they don't remember the answer to the riddle or they don't have an answer for the riddle, it's like a hard wall that gets in their way. And so I tend to stay away from, like, riddle-type things just because they can be very... black and white in terms of success or failure, and you ultimately want them to have a way to succeed, I think. Let's see. I'm just gonna read chat real quick. List of locations, brain heart. I'm just hurting my time. Oh, that's cool. That makes sense. List of locations. Roll randomly to see where it is. That's cool. I think it would be even cooler is if it wasn't just totally random. So there was a process or a pattern to which it was moving around, or there was some kind of logic to why it moved around. So, or pattern to determine where it is. Oh, I forgot to set the fucking timer. Damn it. We're going to add 2 more minutes onto this. Or that the players can figure out. Or not. I like having a solution, at least something. Damn. I'm falling behind on chat. Okay. Perhaps the Lich is channeling souls into the heart of the goo to attempt to resurrect the goo. Well, it's still alive. I think what we're saying is like slowly dying, so it's losing its memory, is what we had said earlier. Oh, the heart is the phylactery. That's fascinating. Maybe that's why it's dying, actually. I like that. Let's do that. Sort in the heart of the goo. It's dying because of the souls stored there. That makes sense. Goo dementia, yeah. This dungeon saps their memories, only to figure out why they're here through clues of the dungeon, whether that be the diaries of dead adventurers, getting memories back through MacGuffins, etc. You need to piece everything together to form a single coherent sentence stating why they came here. Oh, that is interesting. I see what you're saying. Elements, solving various elements of the dungeon. Hey, we're not supposed to be adding on more. Oh, I guess you're just giving me more information. That's true. Give you bits and pieces of a final statement. And then for flavor, you could say that they knew what that statement was at the beginning, and they just forgot it. Yeah, you could lock each of those pieces of information behind a fight or an encounter or something. Start in media res, and they find hints they left themselves in the past. Oh, that's cool. What's in media res mean? Oh, that's our timer. Oh man, we are falling behind, everybody. Best way to solve the riddle conundrum is to have a riddle with multiple answers and you plan the plot according to the other players' answers. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think if you're going to put a riddle in, that is the right way to do it. Absolutely. Oh, in the midst of things. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah, that's cool as well. Okay, so let's see here. So I think we've got some... God damn it. How do I change the color? No, that's not what I wanted. Ah! This is going haywire. I'm going to reset these colors. This chat has some excellent people. Yes, I agree. All of you guys are really creative, and that's the best part of doing this is I feel like there are so many cool ideas that come out of every one of these community workshops that we do, which is awesome. Okay. Clearly, what I'm learning about this refinement step as we go is that organization is kind of an essential element of refinement because it's hard to choose between two different things if you're competing apples and oranges. If you're comparing apples and oranges, right? So like we can't choose between an encounter and the way that something is hidden because those are two different things, right? I was also wondering if shit like this had an audience in Twitch, and yeah, you're totally right. I mean, I love the fact that people are coming here and participating. It's super fun for me, and I'm having a great time. So thank you all for being here and participating. Okay, so, and this is sort of like, again, thematic, right? So I'm realizing maybe I can't move as quickly as I want to, and that's okay. So this is sort of like how it's hidden from the players. And then this is sort of like barriers / encounters, or like encounter. Yeah. The final encounter. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. You can't find the Discord link below. You mentioned Vexter. Oh, really? Shit, man. I'm sorry. Let's get you a Discord link. Create invite. Expires never. Maximum number of uses, no limit. Copied. Boom. There you go. Major flaw in most of these world building streams is that the streamer will already have a preconceived notion of what the world dungeon is supposed to be like instead of starting from scratch every time. Yeah, I can see that. That's actually where we started. We, like, story time. We started, not really a story, like this is, you know, maybe a couple weeks ago. Originally, we were trying to, I was trying to see if people would just be interested in streaming or in working on my campaign, like the campaign that I actually had. And I realized nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody gives a shit about my campaign. But if we can do something that comes from the community that everybody contributes to and everybody feels ownership over, that's a lot better. And people will care about that. So that was sort of my realization. And when we pivoted to Community Workshop, that's, I think, when people really started to sort of come into play, which is great. Anyway, sorry, I keep getting off topic. Okay, so now we've sort of organized things. I think we've organized everything. Yeah, this is sort of... Okay, cool. So let's do this. For this we're just going to lock in because it's already done. And it's the only one in its category, so locked in. Between the phylactery constantly moving around and many fakes, I think actually now that I look at this like this makes the most sense to me because we've already talked a lot about ideas before that have to do with dungeon elements moving around. So I think it's really cool if not only did other elements move around, but also in keeping with that theme and with that vision, you see it in our vision right here. Things are constantly changing. And to me, that sort of makes me feel like this idea fits a little bit better. So we're going to lock that one in. And then for the final encounter, we should just pick one of these. What do we think is the most exciting one of these ideas? I know. You know what? I'm going to number these so that you guys can tell me which number you think is most interesting. So final sanctum requires a statement of why they're here. That could potentially go along with an encounter. So that means that if they solve enough elements, they essentially skip the encounter. If they don't solve enough elements or they guess wrong, then it triggers the encounter. So that could sort of be like a potential one. And I don't know what color to give that one, but I guess we'll just give it like a yellow. And then adventures that have failed the had been trapped is 1, 2, and 6. 1 and 2. Okay, so that's 2 votes for 2, 3 votes for 2. Just to go through them again, a mechanic that deprives them of the will to move forward. I totally forgot a word. Oh, I wrote drive. That's fine. Acolyte guards with changing vulnerabilities. Something that's locked away behind something only a PC can open. Thank you, Unconquered. Appreciate the counting. One day we'll get a bot to do this kind of thing. Pulling from nightmares, traumatic events, or previous foes. In-game time limit. Holy shit. 1 and 2 are my favorite. I like 2, 4, and 6. 3 for 6, 3 for 2. Number 6, that's 4 for 6. 4 for 6 and 4 for 2. A basic straw poll. I know. It's complicated, right? Because is some strength in voting and doing this in a democratic way, but there's also something to be said for groupthink isn't always the best way to approach it, or you want some blend between the two, right? So just like with nominations, we have everybody contribute, and then, you know, I'll pick based on a variety of factors, one of them being what are people most excited about. So we'll say that the things that we lock in are informed by what the community wants, but ultimately someone has to make a decision. And that's something that you realize in the creative process as well, is that you always have to have a design lead to finally make a decision, because you're always going to have people on different sides of a creative endeavor who think that one way to go is the best and another way to go. And they both have very legitimate reasons for why that is. And ultimately what matters is not which idea is actually better. What matters is that you move forward and you can, you know, go on and move to the next thing. So this is actually my bad. Like, I think we've spent a little bit too much time in the refinement stage of each of these steps, and I just need to make a decision quickly so that we can make sure we finish this dungeon before the stream is over, which is definitely not going to happen. So we might actually have to do a follow-up community workshop for this, which would be really fun. Okay, let's see, 1 for 1, 4 for 2, 5 for 6. 6. All right, 6 is the winner. We're gonna move on. Let's do it. And I think the final sanctum statement definitely works as well as like a compliment to that. Awesome. Thank you for the final score, Kelpfire. Thank you for keeping track Unconquered along the way. I appreciate it. Very, very helpful. So thanks, guys. All right, cool. So we got that. We got how it's hidden. We know how what the security measure is, and we know what that final encounter is. Great. So let's make a section at the top, which is the brainstorm, the blue sky, and then the final selection. And we can copy these. Copy? Copy? Copy. No! Copy? No! Son of a bitch. Aw, you guys are friends. That's very nice. Okay. No! Oh my god. I'm like not good enough with Notion to do all this formatting this quickly. Okay, here we go. I got it. I got it, you guys. I got it. Okay, and then final one is this boy. Nope, wrong section. All right. I'm gonna change how I did this real quick, because that was clearly a huge pain in the ass to copy and paste. So instead, we're just gonna move it. Boom. 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 Love it. And then we can just where, how, encounter. Boom, we did it. We can bold these. All right, awesome. That's our final selection. Okay, so we've got the phylactery stored in the heart of the Great Old One. It's dying because the souls are stored there. The phylactery itself, the heart, actually, let's say the heart is constantly moving around, or another way to represent it is they're forgetting where it is. And there's either a randomness or a logic or pattern to determining where it is. And I think we can tackle that when we figure out what the logic is for figuring out how the other rooms move. Because you would imagine that the phylactery room moves in the same logic, or maybe has a special place within that game logic. So we'll figure out what that is. And then the encounter itself is you pull from the nightmares of the players. So you look at traumatic events or previous foes that they fought. Shades or altered versions of those encounters come back, and you have to fight through a series of them. Maybe you fight through like a fourth of what that battle normally would be with a foe that is maybe half the difficulty that thing would be normally, and you just like sort of go through a gauntlet of those past memories. And then an add-on to that could be a final sanctum statement, or entrance. Entrance requires a statement of why they're here. An incorrect statement triggers, or sorry, a correct statement eliminates or makes the encounter much easier. Done. We did it. Oh, thank you. And we'll just make that formatting consistent. All right. So that's the end of our phylactery security measure brainstorm. Let's move on to the next thing. All right. So we've got rewards. I think because we're running out of time, I'm going to cut rewards from the brainstorm because I think rewards are something that DMs should come up with themselves based on the campaign that they're in. Pro tip, have some random seer NPC ask the players to reveal their darkest trauma beforehand in exchange for loot. Easy inspiration for your encounters. That's true. That's true. Very sneaky. I like it. That's funny. Let's just add that in here and traumatize them more effectively. That's so funny. I love that DMs are always trying to pull a fast one over their players. Like, we love our players, but we also want to fuck with them. We just do. Oh, thank you so much for pointing out ideas that I missed. I actually really appreciate that because it's hard for me to type here and keep track of chat at the same time. Missed an idea that Jimmy IV had a warlock of the goo looking to save their patron. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We can go up to sort of overall theme ideas or something. I think that would depend on your campaign, right? If you had a warlock in your party, this could be the patron. Or an ally encounter. Oh, like you meet a warlock of the Great Old One. Is that right? A key NPC? Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. Meet a warlock of the goo. That's a great adventure hook as well. Oh my god, we totally didn't talk about adventure hooks. That's got to be a critical piece of it. Well, whatever, we'll save that for next time, but the adventure hook itself, like the adventure hook, like what sends you into the dungeon? Why are you there? That's critical. Well, we totally forgot about that. Never mind, we'll do it next time. Meet a warlock of the goo who is trying to save their patron, which is awesome. That's like the quest giver. Great idea. Thank you for pointing out that I missed it. Excellent. Okay. Let's move on to the required areas and path to the goal. Okay, great. So we're going to go into... You know what I'm realizing is that this needs subpages. We absolutely need subpages. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to dump it into this, which is going to become a page. So this is going to become a page. It's going to be called Phylactery Security Measure. That way we're not jumping around as much either, which is nice. Great. So now we've got that. And we can split it into columns as well. So I'm going to make this page full width. And we're gonna just make it 2 columns like that. I love Notion. I love its layout capabilities. It's super fucking cool. All right, awesome. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna get that. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Botanot, for joining in. And yes, thank you so much for your ideas and helping out with the stream and helping me keep tag of all the ideas in there. Oh my god, there's so much chat to catch up on. Yeah, Root of Albir is totally an ally encounter, key NPC, etc. Have a background editor? What's a background editor? Oh, you mean like have someone editing in the background? Shit, dude, that's probably a really good idea. At some point, we're going to have to do... I'm going to have to figure out, like, as we have more people in chat, how do we actually manage that? And that's something I'll give a lot of thought to. Let me actually... I just spin up a new Notion page. I have one for where I keep track of good ideas for how to manage this. And Root of All Beers, I like that idea a lot. I'm going to add that in here. Let me just write that down real quick. Have a background editor to help manage the chaos. That makes a lot of sense. let's see here. Cultists might even be the person who sent them on the quest to destroy the phylactery. Yep, absolutely. Give players help with the like a pill. That'd be cool. Or even a spell to combat the memory loss. That's a cool idea. I like that. We can put that under... Oh, no! Where'd we go? Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. I'll organize this later, but... Alright, let's move on to required areas, yeah? Jimmy the Fourth. That idea you had about that cultist, the quest giver, keep that in mind and play that back. You know what? I can just do it. Fuck it. There we go. I'm going to turn this into a toggle. Okay. Best part about liches, they make for pretty easy hooks. Yep, absolutely. Thank you all for thanking people for participating. I love that. I love that you are getting as much out of it as I am, and that you enjoy other people being here. I think that is fucking super fucking cool. I didn't say fucking enough, but thank you all for being a part of the community. I really, really appreciate it. Would you consider doing a rundown of all the capabilities of Notion at some point in the future, like how to make best use of the tool? Absolutely. A Notion workshop. You are not the first one to ask, and I will put it on the to-do list. We'll do it as like a bonus stream that's like different from the schedule of the stream, the normal streaming schedule. Matt Colville is a big streamer who reads his questions, his mods scanned from chat so he can focus on doing his thing. Yeah, I mean, at some point as this thing grows, we will have to have mods. We will have to have sort of a like task force of people that help me manage this. That's for sure. All right. Let's go back to brainstorming. So required areas and path to goal. I'm going to make this a page just like it was before. Okay, cool. And I don't like that these don't have icons. I know this is not essential, but I love the fact that there are icons in Notion, and we're going to give everything an icon. Path to the goal. Areas. What's a good thing for areas? How about this? Nope. Areas? Yes. Construction. Beautiful. Thanks, Notion. We'll give those icons as we get to them. All right. So let's do... This will probably be the last brainstorm and refinement session we've got because I got to get back to work. But let's go ahead and do this last one here. Okay. I'm going to start a 5-minute timer for brainstorming. And we're going to start now. Let's go. Ideas for required areas. I'm going to start throwing shit out, and I'm going to read chat as I do it. It's a temple of Oblivion, right? That means, what do temples need? They need a prayer room of some kind, like a main prayer room. Remember, but it's also a great old one's like body. So these things can double up. Like the main prayer room can also be its stomach, and that can give really cool ideas. And if you guys have ideas for what the rooms can have in them or their sort of functional theme, let me know and I'll write those down as well. Worshippers. A tomb of some sort. Absolutely a tomb or a catacombs or something. It's the intestine. I don't know if that is appropriate, but there you go. The stomach is like a pit of souls, similar to end of Disney's Hercules. Has to be crossed, but how? I love it. That's fucking cool. Pit of souls, stomach, intestine? Question mark? Has to be crossed. But how? Take some inspiration from the Shadow Temple and the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, maybe. So like fake walls / some kind of item you need to find to see through illusions. Yeah, 100%. I don't know where to put that in here, but I guess that's part of the path to the goal thing. So this is just like general characteristics. So maybe we'll just say general characteristics areas. And then we'll put this there. Okay, cool. Fake walls, some kind of item to see through illusions. That makes sense. Whoa, we got a break. Fixed. What else? Sacrificial chambers. Absolutely. It's almost like the sacrificial chamber makes more sense as the stomach because that's where hydrochloric acid would be and it would like eat up things. So it could also be the stomach. It could be a different like part of the body as well. I don't know. The pit of souls could also be like the heart is obviously, you know, is phylactery location is the heart. They need an altar of some sort. The altar would probably be at the crown of the head, as this is normally associated with meeting or of divinity and man. Fuck yeah, I like that. Altar. We'll just say main prayer room / altar. Is the head. Makes sense. Wait, wouldn't it make more sense for the phylactery go in the brain of the instead of the heart? I think it's just a thematic choice, honestly, but we can totally change it. If you have a sort of an idea or a justification for why it would be in the brain. Thinking of the memory loss stuff, the brain of the goo would be in disrepair, but bringing in the theme of entropy, this would also be a good spot for the shades of the past. That's true. That's very, very true. That's really cool. You want to switch it to the brain? We'll see. I guess if shades of the past are the protection for the phylactery, then it would make sense for him to be in the brain. Or brain. Breaking down, we'll just say like the brain. Well, yeah. Breaking down entropy. Shades of the past. The shades of the past are the shades not of the great old one, they're the shades of the party's past, right? So like what part of the body or what kind of room would pull out those things is probably where you want to put the phylactery heart. But I agree that like that could be the brain. Heart or brain. Sleeping chambers. Absolutely. The interesting question we can ask ourselves also is like, do cultists live here? Did they live here at some point? Or is this just a body that has random, like, why is the Great Old One's body full of rooms? Someone must have been in those rooms. We didn't really answer that question. So I think it feels like we've assumed that there are cultists here. So let's just assume that there are cultists in this Great Old One's body. The brain, a chamber where the walls are made of brain-like tissue, violet and black lights glowing on the surface tissue. Maybe this is the room where visions, traumas, and mindfuckery is the strongest. Yeah, that's cool. Purple or like violet and black lights glowing on the surface. Oh my god, that was totally not enough time. Shit. I'm gonna finish out a couple more minutes. In the head area, the eyes rotate inwards and cause some kind of negative or positive layer effect. Ooh, that's cool. Eyes, giant eyes, roll inward periodically. I'm just imagining like a huge, like central chamber where the head is, and obviously the brain is there in the middle, but it's inaccessible until you solve the head problem. And the eyes are these giant Zelda boss-like things that turn inward and cause some kind of mechanical effect. That's cool. Maybe cultists. Oh wait. Sorry. Brain-like tissue. That's cool. Maybe the cultists live here, but they aren't what we think they would be. Maybe they're alien-like creatures that terraform the temple and make the rooms. That's cool. Absolutely. We're gonna go back and put that in the idea for sort of monsters, cultists that are actually alien-like, or like aberrations, right? Those are sort of alien-like creatures that are artifacts of the goo's body. Let's go back to where we were before. What other rooms? Let's focus on rooms. Areas that might be in this temple. Another way to go through it is like, what do the hands do? What do the shoulders do? What does the heart do? Is it organs? Is it body parts? I don't know. What else would be in a temple? Getting a lot of buffering. You'll be riding blind. Now that's weird that you're getting buffering. I think everyone else, so far, I'm able to see that I haven't dropped a lot of any frames at all on OBS. So that issue might be on your side potentially. Unconquered, you're literally fighting a goo brain here, so I love that idea. Yep. They work people into the walls. That's crazy. Maybe Maybe the party is imagining the cultist. It's implanted in the brain. The pathways are the bloodstream of the goo, and the rooms are entries to the goo's organs. Ooh, I like that a lot. That's fucking cool. Pathways or hallways. Pathways. That's interesting. Like, what is some special condition for the hallways or pathways? You know, blood vessels or nerves. Basically, it can all be like themed according to the body part that it is. Maybe the aberrations are less than cultists and more of an immune system. They attack the players because they are different. Yeah, absolutely. That's super cool as well. Where's that? Where did I put that? Monsters. They are like an immune system that are rejecting anything foreign. Also, the memory loss causes them to go crazy. Corruption, right? That's a pretty common theme in stuff like this. Breathing would be really hard in there. Gases and liquids everywhere. Q, hallway, blood river, a la The Shining. Yep. That's cool. Mechanically, that could be what it is. You know, like swim or walk against a tide of blood. Maybe when the heart pumps, that's when they have to like make saves. ETC. That's cool. Back to the temple church theme, maybe some kind of confession room type thing where people have to give up their darkest secrets, probably near the eyes because symbolism. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Let's see here. Give the darkest secrets. Yeah, I wonder, is there like a relation back to the thing we talked about for the Phylactery security system where this is sort of like us as DMs like squeezing the encounters for the shades of the past out of them or something? I don't know. That could be cool. Giving up one of your secrets give you a clue back in return. That's cool. Yeah. Let's just turn the head into that. Mechanical or role play effect. Giving up secrets to the NPC in here gives you clues to the dungeon in exchange. Yep. I also like that this is where the thing starts. Start here because the brain where the phylactery is kept is here. So you can see your goal. Awesome. Very cool. Phylac is kept here. We can also go back and change our phylactery security measure to... but see, heart made sense too because that's like where souls would be stored. That the Lich is storing souls in there. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You can theme it whatever you want. Okay, what else? I know there are so many good ideas here. It's fucking crazy. If you don't kill the shades within 48 turns, it will mitosis create a copy of the shade's current HP. That's crazy. Oh, 4, 2, 8 turns. I see. We can write that down as well. Not killing them. Or like some condition like not killing them fast enough will cause them to regen or duplicate. That's cool. Wouldn't say powerful, just a +1 to damage. True. Like white blood cells. Oh, that's cool. Hey, nice. I'm glad that it works better for you, Jimmy the Fourth. We are the DM together. That's the whole idea. We are collaboratively DMing right now. All right. Obviously, out of time on this one. Man, I think we could fucking come up with a lot more ideas for this one. I think we really could. I don't see any of these, like just for a refinement step, I don't see any of these that like can't work alongside other ones. And there's nothing in here that's like, this doesn't fit the theme at all. So I don't even think we need a refinement step for this necessarily. Okay, let's do this. We're at 210, which means that the stream is coming to an end, unfortunately. I'm going to just quickly organize things a little bit here. I know. I'm loath to end as well, but it is the middle of the day. Overall and mechanical theme. I'm going to paste that in here. You know what? Actually, this doesn't make sense as a separate page because this is the whole theme. This should be a separate thing. Okay. H1 overall and mechanical theme. Overall theme, mechanical theme. Turn that into an H1, put it alongside the other. That works for that. That works for that. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, cool. All right, so let's see here. First of all, thank you everybody for joining me. This was super fun, and I feel like we're not finished. We're not even close to finished. I am strongly considering doing the first extension community workshop, which is to say either a separate stream off schedule where we work on this, and anyone who's interested in finishing this up, we can work on it together, which I would love to. Or we just turn it into Monday's stream and we say this is part 2, where we finish up this idea in its entirety. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I'd love to hear opinions from you guys on which one you'd prefer. We would probably do something like midweek, you know, like Tuesday or Thursday or something like that. For those of you that are interested in working on it further, you know, we could take a vote on Discord. We'll talk on Discord about like how we want to finish this up. So a couple things. I just want to read chat because I've missed out on like 50 messages. It's 5 a.m. Holy shit, man. That's crazy. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. This was super fun, and I feel like we are growing, certainly, but also I feel like our creative prowess is growing. We have more people coming in that have wonderful ideas to contribute, and I love that everyone has their own sort of background in D&D and their own set of ideas that contribute to it. And I always say this about creativity, but what I love is that creativity to me is 2 or more disparate ideas that are disconnected normally, bashing together in your brain and coming, you know, producing something totally new that is a amalgamation of the 2. And I think this Twitch stream is kind of an extension of that idea, where everyone that comes in is a disparate person. They're separate from each other. They're not the same person. They have a different set of experiences in life. And the collision of your guys' brains is what is producing this unique output. And I think that's really, really cool. So if you joined us late, you know, this stream is about collaborative creativity. This stream is about us working together on stuff that we are all excited about through the medium of our favorite game and setting, where we just come up with stuff and we have a good time while working on it. We practice the craft of working together and what that means. And obviously you can tell that this one was less smooth than some of the other ones, right? Like we've kind of got the blue sky brainstorm thing down. I think we're doing a really good job with that. I think I need to think about the refinement step a little bit more because I was struggling to process and get through the body of content that we came up with for that step and getting through that process. So I'll think a little bit more about how the refinement step needs to work. In the meantime, you know, everyone who joined us, please come and hang out with us on Discord. I'm going to post the link here again. Where is my second Notion window? There it is. Copying this link. Oh God. So here's a link to the Discord. So if you liked what you saw, just come and hang out with us in the Discord. And I will also post when we are streaming in there as well. So obviously there's a lot of things that need to get set up still about the stream. We need bots. We need, you know, an FAQ channel in Discord. We need, you know, probably a moderation team to help me manage all the people that are in chat and all the great ideas that are there. Separate channel where people can spitball further, kind of like a postmortem. For sure. I told Root of All Beers this earlier, but basically I'm trying to keep the Discord small to start with. Not small in terms of people, but just in terms of channels. I know that a lot of Discords just like get like a billion channels all at once and then they'll feel empty. So you know, if you want to do a postmortem, the Discord's right there. You should just start doing it in the main channel. And if we need to have multiple channels to talk about different things because there's too much happening there, I'll absolutely create new ones. So maybe that'll happen right after this. I don't know. But, you know, always give me more feedback. I would love feedback on how this is going, how it could be more useful or engaging for you. Feedback on the audio and video of the stream, etc. But otherwise, I'm just really happy that you guys came out and participated. Everybody who was new, everyone who came back before, I loved your ideas and we had a great time. So I will clean this up a little bit. I'll make sure that it's in the community dashboard so that you guys can actually go and this is your idea. This doesn't belong to me. It belongs to all of you in our community, and you should just feel free to take it and modify it and alter it and do whatever you want with it. Oh, thanks for that. I actually had a really, really good time setting up the stream. I bought most of the thematic elements from a website called Nerd or Die that does really cool like alerts and overlays and things. But you know, I set it all up and I had a really good time because I'm an engineer by trade. I had a really good time nerding out and dorking out about how to set up OBS and the streaming software and tools. And you'll notice that like I'm just a huge tools dork, and I love fucking around with new tools, new software, and setting things up. So I like that. It's fun for me. Definitely I got the Notion workshop on the list of to-do things as well. Maybe we'll do that as a special stream as well. So look out for that. Oh my God, lots of to-dos, lots of to-dos. Have you tried Dungeon Draft and Wonder Draft? Those are great for nerding out. I haven't, but I have heard of them. I've been following that, both of the subreddits. I don't know the name of the guy who's making them, but they both look really cool. And I do want to delve into them at some point. So maybe I will do that. I see the webcam is really dark too, so maybe I need to figure that out also. Mega Sploot. Yep, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I've heard very good things, and they look really cool from the YouTube videos that I've seen of, you know, when he sort of does updates or posts about functionality and new features. Looks really cool. So, all right, guys. I'm trying to think of anything else that we need to talk about. We've talked about the ethos. We've talked about what we did today. Yeah, I think the only thing is join Discord. The link is in chat. The next stream is going to be Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific. And if you can join us, you absolutely should. And I think that's going to be great. You don't think anyone could have predicted that the dungeon was going to look like this in the beginning? No, not at all. Not at all. But that's the great thing, is that because it is a fundamentally entropic or organic or emergent, whatever word you want to use, process, it's exciting in and of itself to just try and figure out, or to just see where things go, you know? I think we have no, I want the Greek one. Columns? I know it's in here somewhere. Where'd it go? There it is. Temple. All right. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. See you later, Real Papa Smurf. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being here at 5 a.m. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in Discord, and I will see you Monday at 7 o'clock. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being so supportive of this and also supportive of each other, which is the most important thing, is that you guys are all kind to each other. So be well, and I will see you on Monday night. Peace out, everybody.
a boom.